Welcome to Mind Coast. I'm glad we're all here to keep reaching for our very best selves together. Let's all take a moment to reflect on ourselves, openly and honestly. Intention 5, looking for love. What do I want or expect to receive out of love? And how do I determine its value? Is that value based upon what I see and hear around me, or from a genuine understanding of the people in my life? Does love only seem to be apparent when I'm on the receiving end of gifts and emotional support? Or alternatively, does my love only seem to be recognized when providing those things? Is my definition of love rooted in actions and capabilities? Or does it transcend that and have foundation upon genuine care and a desire for betterment? Is that actually what I'm looking for in my search for love? Or instead, am I just looking for someone to cure my loneliness or contribute to an intimacy that others are having and I want to experience for myself? It's understandable to crave feelings of affection in every way we can imagine, but a mature understanding of love that can actually withstand the feeling of incompletion in this world doesn't exist as an outlet for problems and demands, fade with distance, or necessitate intimacy. All that it requires is a commitment to wanting and encouraging what's best for each other. Our ability to love is the most powerful thing that we're capable of doing, and in turn, that makes receiving love the most coveted part of our human experience. But where we all differ is in each of us being able to define what love is for ourselves, which at first, we're all prone to idealizing as a perfectly compatible personality that comes with permanent physical and emotional availability and an unwavering priority for our happiness. But that underdeveloped definition of love that doesn't promote any commitment and acceptance or encourage loyalty and not looking to who else can provide more is in large the common standard of today. What's become widespread, it continues to be promoted by so many people of influence, is making love a solution to our inadequacies and an instrument to play out our relationship fantasies. So many of us assert a criteria of standards that limit the potentiality of genuine connection or won't even allow it to take place without first knowing what that relationship can offer us in terms of appearances, experiences, and our individual preferences for emotional and physical comfort. It's not wrong to have standards of character that we uphold other people to, and as a result, we're selective in how we intermingle. But when that selectivity delves outside of character and integrity and into assets and potentialities, it's a mistake to believe that's what searching for love really is. Anyone who tells you that looking for a partner to remedy your loneliness, discontentment, or fear of not experiencing closeness is a reason to find love, no matter how old or experienced they are, they're wrong. It's hard for everyone to find out that true love isn't exactly how we've idealized it, and the ways in which life shows us that can be quite painful as well. But if love is truly what we're searching for, we should start by understanding what it really is. One thing that a lot of us need clarity on to move forward is that love and romance, though related, aren't the same thing. Love is simply wanting nothing but the best, not what's most grandiose or expected, just what's best for the people we love to be the best version of themselves. It's not in gestures of kindness or appealing to wants, which can be done out of love, but in their absence, that doesn't mean love isn't present. And love isn't an intimacy, and we shouldn't feel as though we don't have enough of it just because we don't have someone to be intimate with at this point in our life. Once we mature our understanding of love, we can properly look for a deeper expression of it in a partner, and how we go about that won't be filled with impatience and desperation, because we aren't just looking for someone who meets our outward criteria for a means of interpersonal completion, but instead for someone that's capable of both understanding and sharing true love. But that requires patience. We have to be attentive so as to not let the excitement of a potential relationship blind or even cause us to ignore what's unhealthy in them. And that requires enough time for us to shake off our initial impressions and wholly evaluate someone's character and what it brings out of them at their best and at their worst. We have to continue to be honest to ourselves and ask if this person is truly worth and willing to benefit from the support that we're capable of offering, or if with time, they'll make us regret the time and energy we've offered them. And as for our individual goals and what we want to make out of ourselves, how is that impacted by their presence? There's so much that goes into finding and exercising compatibility. So for many of us, instead of feeling unhappy or incomplete because that special relationship we want isn't in our life yet, we just have to be more comfortable with waiting and not living in comparison. True romance isn't supposed to be easy to find because compatibility isn't something that we can demand from another person. None of us can ask for honesty, generosity, or any other trait from another person and then simply expect to receive it immediately or even with time. The character of every single person outside of ourselves has already long been in development and will always be dominated by their individual desires and perspective, which is why it almost always ends poorly when couples try to force their values and agreeability upon one another, as opposed to reaching that common ground or finding out if it can be reached before entering into a relationship. With this intention, what we want to build upon is that we shouldn't feel so desperate or in such a rush to settle just for presentations and immediately start dating. Taking time before advancing a relationship to the next stage gives both people the opportunity to continue working on themselves without holding each other back, and love can still exist between each other in a mature and platonic way for the time being. And it isn't loneliness to be single or even to desire a partner without having found one yet. Something as special as that, in the most genuine form, isn't always common or available in every setting that we find ourselves in. And many of the partnerships around us are more forced and transactional than we can observe from the outside. A lot of that feeling of lacking in relationships is just the awareness of our capacity to love, and romance isn't necessary for that to be fulfilled. It's ironic how almost completely opposite the modern dating scene is from purposing true love. So many people don't know what it is or how to properly look for it, and other people just aren't willing to entertain commitment because of past experiences that were misleading or didn't end well, or because of becoming addicted to sexual promiscuity without acknowledgement or concern. And instead of providing clarity and realignment, what's far more received from the majority of publishers on platforms of influence is reinforcement of these superficialities as dictators of confidence and desirability, and that comes from both young and old alike. But before any of us decides to indulge outsider influence, we should at least consider if they've had any relationship success of their own. And that doesn't mean having a number of different experiences or an affinity for initiating connection, but actually finding a connection that can withstand the test of time and inevitability of space that life presents. A connection that didn't progress too quickly and lead to permanent changes without preparedness. And if that connection wasn't able to last, it's ending with amicable and with mutual understanding. Not nearly as many people have experienced what that is as there are giving advice as to how to find it, or if it can really exist in this day and age. But for us, with this intention, we're not going to limit love to displays of affection or lose hope in finding romance because it's not our season just yet. We're becoming aware that enough love already exists in God and in the family and friends that He gave us. And anything more than that is worth the wait. There's some things in life that we aren't meant to rush into. And even though that may challenge our patience, and the world will label it as inexperience, it'll always be healthier and more peaceful for us to live in gratitude for what we already have than in desperation for what we want. We all have a natural desire to extend and receive love, but relationships are meant to have a far greater purpose than just providing company and supporting each other's weaknesses. If love beyond the surface level is really what we're looking for, then we just need the patience to wait until it's presented in its entirety, and to continue working on how we offer and how we recognize it in the meantime. Thanks for listening, everyone. feel welcome to join our community. And I hope we meet again. Peace.